Completing a film can be an incredibly challenging yet rewarding journey. And now that you've reached the finish line and screened it for over 100 friends, family, and peers, how are you feeling?
Elated, excited, but also terrified at the same time, because now it's just like all of these other people that we know and don't know are seeing the film for the first time, and hopefully don't think I'm a crazy person.
Erik, how are you feeling?
Outstanding. Are you kidding me? Just to be in a room with film-loving people again, this is really special. I'm really happy to be here.
Yeah.
You guys are really film people, film lovers. But I feel great. This is a special thing. Every time I get, behind a camera with really fun people, I always ask myself, is this the last time?
And we always say, hopefully not.
It kind of felt like that on this movie, but I don't know. We all kind of felt like we made something special, and I hope you guys appreciate that. And I hope you guys connect to it.
Absolutely. Ian, how are you feeling?
Very, very excited. Very excited. It's a pleasure being here in this theater, because I grew up going to this theater, and being able to screen a film here is just an incredible feeling. So I just thank you all for being here. It's absolutely incredible.
Yes, absolutely. Just constantly. Just the noise never has to end. Okay, I want to acknowledge that our presence together is thanks to you, Erik, our DP here.
Yes.
Who has been a pivotal mentor and a friend to us all through our time at OCC. We all met because we've taken classes through Erik, and he made sure to introduce us. Even some of the cast and crew that are not on this stage all met through Erik.
A lot of them, actually.
A lot of people.
Slowly trying to change culture over here.
It's working. It's absolutely working.
It's working.
And I'd love to hear why mentorship and supporting emerging filmmakers is so important to you. And second part, furthermore, the main reference for the film that we'll talk a little bit about more after this question here was shot by your mentor, Laszlo Kovacs. And so how could you share about the relationship and its influence on your work?
I mean, I was given a really priceless time with a great friend, and it meant a lot, and it was very simple. It wasn't a hard thing, and I try to remember that. He's actually, I think, the reason why I'm an instructor and why I teach. I was taught to give back as soon as possible. Everything that you can, everything that you can try, everything that you learn. There's no sense, and this is like a cinematography thing where age old we like keep our secrets. He taught me you give it up and you do the best you can, and he was very proud that I did get into teaching, and I got to be friends with my mentor for about 7 years before he passed away. And then I don't know if you guys believe in cosmic shit like I do, but he passed away. And then a year later, on the day, my daughter, who's here, was born. Woo! So we kind of make, my friends, the Kovacs family, and I, we still kind of have a beautiful relationship, and things like that happened to me and happened to us. So it's just kind of weird, but mentoring is everything. I mean, I hope everybody in here has somebody special in their lives, giving them and guiding them, and just sometimes it's taking the 2-minute phone call, when you really need just a little bit of encouragement. So it's pretty simple. That's what, drives me. That's what I want to keep doing. And I'm so blessed that I get to do what I do and work with you fools. I mean, this is really amazing.
Thank you. Yeah, can we get a round of applause just for that? I mean, this man is the reason we're all up here.
Thank you. And thank you to everybody who has, survived me as a teacher. I hope you keep creating. That's really what I want. Is I want a legion of creators.
Yes.
It's working. We're banding together. And that's a good segue too. Just the way that we've stayed in touch in different ways. You continue to stay in touch with your students. So I understand this project originated from conversations over coffee.
Yes.
And this was during a time when you, Tyler, were struggling specifically to develop a different project.
Yeah.
And so could you share how those chats led to the creation of this film and how the idea evolved from there? How did this all come to be?
So there was another project we were trying to get made, but things just weren't aligning. Things weren't going right. We couldn't get the funding in time, and then just scheduling, and then tried to develop another project, and that one was gonna happen in August, but then that one fell apart last minute, and then during this whole time, me and Eric were continuously getting coffee, just talking, and this man one day just like grabs me and is like, looks me in the eye and is like, I can see the pain in your eyes.
I was like fed up. I'm
Yeah.
like, dude, we gotta like, you gotta like start. Let's go.
Yeah. He was like, I will help
Getting
you
impatient.
make something. Let's go make something. And so went kind of back to the drawing board and went through my notes and kind of collided a couple of different ideas that I've been thinking about. And yeah, it kind of started as like, oh, okay, do I want to do a documentary? Do I want to do like a Andy Warhol screen test thing? And then it just kind of evolved into this crazy, weird meta documentary, including fiction and all this other stuff, and we just went wild with it.
Why the extra long title?
The extra long title.
It's actually shorter than it was.
It's shorter than it was. The original title was much, much longer. And
Paragraph up there.
a paragraph, yes. But no, this title, the only tip that I'll say is that it's technically two titles. It's technically two films in one. You have the 8 portraits films, and then you have the Death Reality and Stuff film. So, yeah. It's so nice to see it so big.
Isn't
It's
it?
crazy.
It's awesome. I love the big screen.
Yeah.
Okay. Ian, how did Tyler approach you to be the editor in the first place? And I know that from speaking with him, he mentioned that the last movie that Erik's mentor shot, Laszlo Kovacs,
Yes.
really helped you find the form of the story
Go
in
watch that
post-production.
movie.
We're talking about the movie is called The
Last Movie.
Yeah.
directed by Dennis Hopper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how did that influence the form in post? But how did you get approached at first?
I approached him. Like Tyler was saying a second ago, he had a couple projects fall through because of me and my buddy over there. But we were producers, and we were working with Tyler for a while. We were working with Tyler for a while and developing a few projects, and we ended up getting jobs in New York for the summer and had to go away for a few months. And during that time, we would have regular calls, and he would update us on the development of this project. And coming back from New York, they ended up shooting it. I was actually not on set for the shoot itself.
You had car problems.
I had normal things, very normal things.
Story of your
Yes,
life, man.
yes.
But I wasn't actually on set for the film. My all-time partner and buddy Terry over there ended up being on set.
Yeah, let's give Terry a
Look at
round of
Terry,
applause.
seriously.
Let's give Terry.
Quick
yeah.
shout out, Terry. Terry has the most credits on the film, and we aren't letting him stop tonight.
Yes.
He's working right now.
That's the hustle. That's the grind. But
Yeah,
go
yeah,
on.
yeah.
So when we got back from New York, they were getting close to shooting, and they ended up shooting the project. I wasn't able to be on set, but Tyler and I were hanging out one day, and we were just talking about it and talking about the project, and I literally looked at him and I was like, "Can I cut this?" And he said, "Yeah, go for it." I think it was probably we made it through probably the first 2 or 3 cuts.
A lot of cuts
of the film. Had lots of talks about the style in which the reference of the last movie is very much a accurate representation of.
Which the first couple of cuts you had not seen the movie yet.
I had not, yeah, and I'll go into that. It took probably until after probably the 3rd cut for me to actually sit down with this man and actually watch the movie that he was referencing in terms of editing style. And the second I sat down to watch it, afterwards I looked at him and I go, I get it. I get it. Yeah. And so it was a trip being able to translate a vision and cut something up and then see exactly kind of it was almost like a key that when you unlocked it, everything started to make sense. And that's when we got the final cut not too long after that. So
Yeah.
yeah.
That's great. Yeah, one of the unconventional, is not everything unconventional about the film. One of the things that's a little bit strange and uncommon is the length. We've learned to maybe call this a featurette because it's about 45 minutes long.
Yeah.
In festival submission terms, that's called like a mid-tier length.
Which
and
festivals do not like that.
yeah, it's really uncommon. It doesn't fit into a block.
Well, they
of-
suck.
Yeah, festivals suck. But it's
Go to Europe.
It's traditional
Yes.
for short films to be anywhere from 8 to 15, maybe at most 20 minutes long, and for features to be 90 to 120. So how did this end up being your final runtime?
Well, the first day of shooting, this was supposed to be a maybe 8 to 10 minute movie, and then during the first day,
That's what I was told.
Yeah. That's what I thought too. But then
That's what I was told too, going into editing.
Yeah. But then on set, both me and Eric look at each other and we're like, this ain't gonna be no 10-minute movie.
Well, I was still thinking like, okay, under 20.
Yeah.
So I think that it ultimately ended up being this long because you captured so much fantastic information and performances from these portraits, we call them. Yeah,
I wanted
100%.
to add, I've been thinking about that.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of courage to speak about these topics. And the people that are speaking in this movie, I was very moved by when we gathered it and captured it. And I mean, looking at it again, I hope, again, you guys can connect to what is happening up there. I mean, these people are giving real emotion. And it isn't, very manipulated like a Hollywood movie. This is, connective. And I really appreciate the bravery that, all of you gave to it. I do.
That's a good point. Tyler, Ian, specifically you guys, having the opportunity to use some incredible unreleased music from one of the cast members' father. Yeah, 100%.
Beautiful.
Yes.
Who is highly regarded in the music world and a major talking point in your film.
Yeah.
It seems like a very unique and very special privilege to premiere it in this way. Talk a little bit about that.
It is just amazing, and I'm still kind of pinching myself, but it just kind of happened over a conversation with Mr. Dustin Kemp, where I cannot see the. Okay.
Big round of applause
Stand
to
up
Dustin.
Stand
Please
up real
stand
quick.
up.
Stand up real quick. And
Yeah.
So just talking to him about the project and everything, we went for coffee and we're talking, and he loved the idea, and then I was trying to figure out like the music stuff, and then he kind of proposed it a little bit, and he showed me a song, and I was like, holy shit. I was like, oh my God, this is the kind of perfect, I hate using this word, but like synergy, like it felt right, and he was just game for it, and we just had great conversations, and it was great. And I also got to give a special shout out to Dustin's mom for also allowing us to do this. This is amazing. Thank you.
Thank you, Dustin's mom.
Yep. Woo.
That music is Dustin's dad. That's Dustin's dad singing.
Yes.
So a lot of aside from one song, a lot of pretty much the majority of the songs that were used were done by Dustin's father.
Yes.
And completely unreleased music.
Rick
that-
Elric.
Rick Elric.
Woo.
Which now has to find a way to get released because it's so incredible. And in 2025, what else is in? We're going to say grunge, underground, punk, Dustin's dad's music.
Smoking.
Yep.
Ian, but how did it help you to find this cut? Because it plays such a big role in the feeling and the tone of the film.
I would say for the most part, especially, I mean, it didn't take as long as I expected to get the cut, definitely for sure. But it was interesting. We started out by literally sitting down with a giant whiteboard, and going taking a look at all the footage we had, and we had hours and hours.
We
and
had
hours.
so much footage.
It's so much footage. Taking a look, and again, we sat down. And we're like, this is not going to be a 15-minute movie.
Yeah.
Like, there's too much stuff in here that we want to portray and we want to talk about.
And also treat correctly too.
Yeah, and be kind to. We wanted to be kind to the portraits. We wanted to be kind to the music itself. So it was definitely taking the time to sit down, arrange everything, and there's probably 2 or 3 times we said, scrap everything. We're going from the ground up.
Yeah.
There was I very vividly remember I'm in New York. It's like 5 a.m. out there, and this is on a trip back in like January. We had already started cutting the film.
Yeah.
And it's 5 a.m. there. It's would be like 2 a.m. here.
Yeah, I'm a crazy person.
Yeah,
I decided
and
to
I
call
get-
this man.
I get a call from him, and he's like, "I figured it out. I figured it out. We need to sit down. I have something. I'm gonna send it to you." So it was definitely took a couple of tries, but I think getting to the 45 minute mark, we felt very comfortable. Having the content that we did have in it, in the style of editing and in the style of film that it was, felt like we had reached a point that very much felt tangible and felt good. It felt
good.
appropriate.
It didn't feel too long. It didn't feel too short. I felt like it moved really well. Nice.
Yeah, and then it was just tidying it up from there, and then here we are.
Yeah.
There's something lost when a film is so short, and like you don't really, it becomes kind of disposable. And sorry, we wanted you to feel. We wanted to remind you have emotions. We wanted to remind you have feelings. We wanted to remind you that there is tragedy in our lives, but there's also a lot of love and joy. And, it should be an experience, not something you throw away, right?
Yeah.
At the Golden Globes yesterday, a 3.5-hour movie won Best Dramatic Picture with an intermission. They figured out how to make something long that people resonate with. And another in for 2025, I say, 50-minute movies with 20-minute Q&As. Let's get more of those. We can do it. It works. You're here. You show up. Okay, Erik, how did you approach developing the visual language with Tyler during pre-pro, and share why you chose a combination of so many formats like 8mm film, 16mm film, and a few digital cameras? How did that contribute to the overall aesthetic and storytelling?
Well, that's like 7 questions.
My bad.
No, I think I've been a real big fan of reference images and clips from other movies and magazines and anything that can kind of prove the point. And I would push Tyler to give me imagery. Give me. I remember you did a playlist.
Yeah.
Just music that gives you the vibe, and that was helpful. But we worked out, I think, some visual imagery and some, Pinterest boards and stuff like that, and decks that we made. But I think we talked about the films of Dennis Hopper.
Yes.
I don't know if you're familiar, but Easy Rider. I hope you know this movie. I hope you know Dennis's work. We all had to kind of watch Tyler quite literally transform into Dennis Hopper while we were making this movie.
Yeah, I went a little
But
too method.
There
with it.
was a little. It was kind of a throwback to doing something not typical, doing something artistic. Trying to explore things. That's what it feels like for me. So we got, again, through many coffees. And I was trying to think. I gave you a movie to watch. I think you gave me stuff to watch.
Yeah, you gave me your first feature
I
film
did.
to watch.
I gave you another movie that I did. Yeah.
Yes.
And then we start talking about, how are we gonna do this? He's like, I'm gonna shoot it at my house. I'm
Yes.
like, okay, that's easy.
Yeah.
And it turns out we're from the same hometown, which is called La Habra. I don't know if
Woo!
Shout out La Habra, who's in
I'd
the
always
house.
been like, man, we got to put La Habra on the map. As far as the formats go, I mean, again, if any filmmakers are in here, the only cure is more. So, I think it kind of came somewhat organically. Tyler let me choose things and tools that,
Yeah.
Tyler, I want to bring my Super 8 camera. Okay.
Yeah.
And it was very open. And then, we agreed to be very, mindful of the cost. We bought a very specific amount of film.
Which, quick note, we didn't go over. We went under. We had a whole extra roll of film. when we shot the film.
Yeah, everybody was like, "Whoa, okay."
We were
have-
so scared of like running
wait,
out of film.
We have more film.
Yeah.
Usually that doesn't happen. And then, I think it made sense to us. We knew trying to interview people doing, giving a meaningful story, we didn't have enough money to burn film on those great interviews. We had to have a digital way to capture for a longer period of time. Plus, we didn't want to have to cut them when they were, speaking to us. So we were able to get a longer runtime. And I don't know, it felt really fun to mix films and medium and gauges and, incredibly, it all comes together and has a really beautiful look. I hope you guys agree.
Yeah, it really came together well. Ian cut it all together very well.
Woo.
Also want to thank Ariana Hoshino, who colored this, who's not here tonight. Did a really good job of blending the mediums and creating a beautiful image.
Yeah. Loud enough so she can hear you from Eagle Rock.
A lot of talent helped this, and there's a lot of talent in this room, and it's so thrilling to be a part of it. It's so thrilling to see what you all will get to do, to see what are you gonna do in the next movie? This is gonna be amazing.
I know.
This is his first movie.
I know, crazy.
Crazy. Yeah, man.
Let's fundraise and let him do another one.
Yeah. This is
Tyler,
great.
I'll pay you a compliment as well.
Oh, thank you.
You have a superpower, and that is bringing people together and getting really excited about something that makes no sense at all. And it's
Passion.
still something where, regardless of the nonsense or how unclear exactly it is that what we would all be working on together, we want to show up because of how excited you get. And that's what a director really is at the end of the day, as a salesperson, to say, I think I'm the right person to tell this story right now, and you accomplished that so well with this film.
Thank you, thank you.
Felt like a family.
Yeah.
Still does. I see you got
I know.
my cousins are here.
Okay, I only have one last question that is prepared before we open it up, y'all. And this is a bit more of a sensitive subject. So with Grace here, you've recently experienced some personal loss in the last 6 months.
Yeah.
Which all came after this film was finished. Mm-hmm. So how has it met the moment for you, and how do you feel about it now?
It's just been a surreal experience now, just like watching it. It definitely means a lot more, and then I definitely look at it like a different way, because I am, like, within this whole film, we're talking about parents and death in different scenarios and everything, and I just recently went through that. Well, my dad passed away November, so that's been an interesting experience, but yeah. Mm-hmm.
And you were sharing with me when we were hanging out one time, you're extremely grateful that your dad got to watch this film.
Yes.
And your grandfather.
Yes. My dad and my grandpa were bugging me like crazy, like, can we watch the film? And I'm like, okay, I'll screen it for you guys, but I can't, like, I'm going to be pacing in the background screening it for you, because that's a terrifying thing, showing your dad and your grandpa, like, together. Like, I'm like, what? Like,
What was their reaction?
It was really good. My dad told me I should be an actor, and I started laughing, and I was like, thank you, but I don't think so. But yeah.
Yeah, I think there's a future there for you to wither away in stress and smoke and alcohol.
Yeah.
Well, I know it's very special for you to bring all your friends and family together, so I'm going to hand it over to you if you have any special acknowledgments, if you want the cast and crew.
Oh, yes. So anybody who worked on this film or like supported this film with either funding or working or anything, can you please stand up and let's give them a round of applause, please? Woo! 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 Yeah! Yeah! Yeah!
Look at this family.
Woo! Wow. I can't
Thank you.
see anybody.
I'd like to thank my family. I know
Yes.
this was a thrilling 4-day, explosion, and I'm really lucky. My 14-year-old daughter's in the back who gets to experience this, And, my wife and my other daughter prop me up so I can do this. And, it's hard to be away from your real family, but then you get to go and play and have fun with my other family, so. And I guess I should thank my mentor.
Yes.
Laszlo Kovacs, ASC.
Yeah, yeah. Woo.
Well, Ian.
Everyone in this room, just thank you for showing up. Seriously, thank
Yeah.
you for showing up. It's crazy. It's crazy to be here, and everyone that's here came for us, and to see this, and it's insane, and it's a pleasure. Real film people.
Movies. Shoot on film.
Thank you. Yeah, one last round of applause before we open it up,
Yeah, yeah.
everybody.